Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. There have been so many questions about how to. But the one that even was covered this day by my partner, how do you know? How does intuition work? How does the field work? I gave a channel some months ago that I'm now going to repeat in an abbreviated form for you. And it contains a metaphor, which is the best kind of explanation for some of you. When we talk about, how do you know? We have spoken of the field many, many times. That when you sense the field around you, you're actually sensing everything that is happening at the moment. It exists in that form. You might say it's a soup of consciousness, which is energy on the planet, which doesn't necessarily tell the future to you, although some things are there which might point to it. It's basically what's happening now. Think of it as all the thoughts of all the humanity, and that somehow the ones that perhaps would pertain to you, your life, your family, are also available through intuition. The reason? So that you'll be able to move left or move right and perhaps dodge the obstacles that might be in front of you. Those obstacles and the things that perhaps would be pitfalls to you. Did you know that there's intuition that will push you out of the way of them? We have told you before that a light worker does not have to depend on luck, ever. Because you have the ability to change your reality by sensing the field. Those who have been doing this for years have friends who will say to them, "Boy, are you lucky." Luck has nothing to do with it. It is you tuning in. The question today, there is so much out there. How do you know? What works, what doesn't, what's right for you? My partner, he explained a portion of it. Let me give you the full story. So we're going to use the metaphor of the wind as the field. A sailor has some very interesting choices and some difficult kinds of things to do. Let's say that he wants to go straight ahead. And straight ahead is where the port is that he needs to be. He takes all of his measurements, he's got his compass, he kind of knows where he's going. In fact, there's no question of what he's supposed to do. But he needs wind to get him there. Now, in an ideal world, he would simply set his rudder for that port, set the sails at the right angle to catch the wind, and sail right in. But it didn't ever work that way, because the winds, they seem to shift around a lot. Sometimes the winds would come from a direction that was really quite far away from where he wanted to go. Now, what do you do there? And so he had figured it out. Sailors know. They go in whatever direction the wind is, and they tack. And they come about, and they sail in the other direction. So they may zigzag and zigzag because the wind isn't blowing the right direction at all for their goal. Are you getting this? So the first thing the sailor has to do with this invisible force is to sense which direction he has to move in order to tack. That direction, which will take him left or right, seemingly a far out of his way bearing he has to go to, so he can then turn and go to another and turn and go to another. And although it may not be very efficient, his goal is achieved, and eventually he'll get into the port. And so picture yourself for a moment with this metaphor. You sit and you have decisions about which way to go in order to get to that goal. Now, what is that goal? Let's say it's a goal of continuing the love in your life. The goal is to continue survival. In other words, it's a basic goal, the goal of health. Something that you have to do that's going to get you there. And yet the wind is blowing in the wrong direction. And what I mean by that is somebody comes to you, or there's an interesting situation that occurs. You say, well, that's not really what I had in mind, and I don't really think that that's going to take me in that direction, but I want to do it. Yes or no? And then you get the intuition flash, that invisible force that the sailor knows. He even reads the patterns on the water in order to know which direction the wind may come from eventually, when to tack. All of that is invisible. Dear Spirit, you might say, show me which way the wind is blowing, so that I will know what direction to go. And I will know, dear Spirit, that if it seems incorrect or wrong, I will dismiss that because I don't know what's in the field. You see, if I were to go straight ahead, and that thing that might achieve my goal of what I think I want to do, it might put me in a hole. It might put me in a place where something might happen. And so therefore, I will tack. I will go another direction for a while, and then I may turn and go another direction for a while. And these directions won't be the ones that I have thought of. They'll be the ones that the wind pushes me to. Dear Spirit, you might say, allow me to be pushed to those places I don't understand that will give me the health or the love or the things that truly are my goal. And so it is.